Let's review the process of finding the cranial nerves. It can be a little frustrating because not all the brains are going to have all the nerves by any means, but we should be able to find all the nerves. I have a few brains here to work with. So right off the bat, the olfactory nerve is going to be the little fibers going into the nasal passages. You won't have that, but you'll have these big olfactory bulbs on the two sides. So we're just going to consider this the olfactory nerve because that's where the olfactory nerve would attach, right? So we're going to stick this in there. That's olfactory, okay? So process is started. Optic. The optic nerves enter into the optic chiasm right here. So that's our optic nerve. Ocular motor. Most brains won't have huge ocular motors like nerves like this. But this is a nice example of those two ocular motor nerves coming out of the ventral surface of the midbrain right here. So I'm going to put the ocular motor right into this one here. Okay. Trochlear. Trochlear is tiny. It innervates only one extraocular muscle, and you might need to expose through the arachnoid and the vasculature between the cerebrum and the cerebellum a little bit in order to expose it. You might need to take some of this away because it's the only nerve that leaves from the dorsal surface of the brainstem. It could be this little branch right here. You can see that down in the hole. I have another brain where there's a much more obvious trochlear nerve. Let me see if I can find that. Oh, right here. And so you can see the size of the nerve you're looking for. Here's that trochlear nerve leaving the dorsal surface of the brainstem, of the midbrain specifically, right near the inferior colliculus here. Okay, so that's the trochlear nerve. The trigeminal nerve, you're only going to have a stump for the trigeminal because it always tears off, and it's a big stump. It's right here. So it's on the lateral surface of the pons. So this is the pons right here. Okay. So your trigeminal nerve stump is going to be right here. We'll go ahead and put a tag in that. And then the abducent nerve is going to come off the medulla, which would be in this region. The medulla below the pons, and for this brain, it's right here. And again, it's a small nerve because it only innervates one extraocular muscle. So that's the abducent. On that side here it is on the brain's right side. So see if you could find your abducent. I'm going to put a tag in that right at the exit point. Okay. So 7 and 8 will leave right immediately adjacent to each other. And in this brain, I believe it's right here. So to back up just a touch, here's the root of the trigeminal or fifth nerve. The sixth is the abducens, which is this nerve controlling your lateral rectus muscle. And it's coming off the medulla. And then 7, 8 are coming out somewhere in this vicinity. I see two distinct nerve branches coming out there. 9 and 10 are in the same general area. The fibers coming out right here. I don't know if you can see the difference in color here. Here's the medulla and here's the cerebellum. It'll be wedged in between. On this side you see the same thing, a little bit lighter color. Those nerve fibers coming out. So that together would be 9 and 10. So we're just going to stick those flags in that vicinity. It's not an exact science here, this process. 11, you might have the spinal accessory coming up on the lateral side of the spinal cord, and then ultimately onto the medulla. So that's this right here. And on this side, it's sort of coming off. But you can see the spinal accessory nerve coming up from the spinal cord to enter through the foramen magnum and then exit through the jugular foramen with 9 and 10. And then 12, those would be fibers coming out right here, just lateral to the pyramidal tracts. So here's the pyramidal tract on one side, here's the pyramidal tract on the other, and hopefully you can see these fibers coming out. There are a bunch of rootlets that come out and then join together and form the single hypoglossal nerve. So we'll stick that right in there. So that's the hypoglossal.